Well, welcome back to irishracing.com, and today we've got an exclusive insight from jockey Robbie Power, or former jockey that is. We've teamed up with Boylesports, and we'll also later on in the show give you an exclusive tip from irishracing.com's own Vincent Finnegan. So without further ado, Robbie Power, it's great to have you on. How has life been post-retirement?
Yeah, it's been very good, Joe. I've been busy, plenty of jobs to be done. So no, I've been enjoying it. It was the right time for me to retire. My body wasn't able for it anymore, so I was happy when I made the decision. It was time to move on. So yeah, looking forward to my first Cheltenham not riding. It'll be a bit different when I arrive over there, but no, look, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fantastic week racing.
And I know you're teamed up a little bit more with the Henry de Bromhead yard. Can you just tell us a bit more about what that role is and what you're kind of doing more day to day?
Yeah, so I started working with Henry in August, straight after the Galway Festival, and basically just keeping an eye on all the races and helping Henry race plan more so than anything else. Finding races for horses and watching all the horses run, and then sitting down and looking through the calendar, trying to pick the right races with Henry for the horses.
So you think you've picked some good races for Henry's horses at Cheltenham at least?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got all the right horses going, and they're all in the right races. I think anyway. But I'm looking forward to this week.
Great stuff. All right, the first part of this interview, we're going to be looking at day 3. So we're going to kick off with the first grade one, of course, the Turners. Now, you've obviously ridden for Gordon Elliott as well, so Mighty Potter is the well-fancied favourite for that one. But what do you make of his season so far, and do you think he is the one to beat?
Yeah, he's been very good this season. His performance in Down Royal first time out was good. Very good again in the Drinmore and Fairyhouse, where he made a couple of mistakes and learned from them, So it was good to see. And then again at the Dublin Racing Festival, when he beat Galliard de Menil over 2.5, which he should be doing, beating Galliard de Menil over 2.5 was a good performance. But this is definitely going to be his stiffest test. I think Banbridge and Appreciated are two very, very good horses, especially Appreciated, who I thought ran well at the Dublin Racing Festival over 2 mile. I think stepping up and trip will definitely bring around a lot of improvement, and I think he'll find things an awful lot easier going that bit further. I don't think Mighty Potter's the big certainty that everyone thinks he is. I think he's got a big danger in the likes of Appreciated and Banbridge.
Great stuff. All right, well, let's move on to the Ryanair. I just wanted to get your view just on the Ryanair in general. I mean, do you think it has a place in the Cheltenham Festival? Obviously, the middle distance between the Champion Chase and the Gold Cup.
Yeah, I think at this stage now it does. There's a few other races now I'd be getting rid of before I get rid of the Ryanair. But look, it's at the time didn't think it was the right race to bring in, but it's served its purpose. It's had some very, very good horses have won it, and it could be another case this year with Shishkin. He was very impressive in Ascot. If he comes out with that performance again, I think he'll win. I'm not sure what's in the race to beat him. If the real Shishkin turns up, I think he'll win. Envoy Allen will probably run here. He was a very good winner in Down Royal and disappointed in the King George, but I think 2 and 5 around Cheltenham will suit him better. It could be his ideal trip this, and he can be ridden more positively. So yeah, I think Envoy Allen probably to be second to Shishkin.
And I mean, yeah, we're filming this a little bit earlier on in the week, but I mean, looking at conditions, do you think that possibly then goes against Shishkin as well?
Yeah, definitely. If the ground was soft, that's a big negative for Shishkin. We saw last year in Cheltenham on very soft ground what happened, but I think there was more to it than just the ground. But soft ground will be a big negative now for Shishkin. And it's also coming back. Nicky Henderson, there was so much pressure on Nicky going to Ascot. I'd say he had Shishkin 110% ready. I don't think he'd improve for Ascot. He could do the opposite and bounce, but look, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. And any outside fancies potentially in this race as well for you?
Yeah, I like Envoy Allen. I think he has his chance. He's a very, very good horse on his day, and I think he has a good chance. Of the others, probably Janadil, who was good in Goran Park, at a price could run well.
Excellent. All right, let's move on to the biggest race on Thursday, of course, the Stayers Hurdle. You rode Tihupu last year, so I want to get your thoughts on how he's improved and impressed. Now one of the leading fancies in the Stayers.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Tiapu last season. He's done nothing wrong this season. He's not ground dependent. He just needs a stamina test. He's stamina dependent, and that's what he's going to get in the Stairs. He was very good over 2 mile with me and Goran last year when he won the Red Mills hurdle on very, very soft ground. It made it a stamina test, which suited him. And I think he'll take an awful lot of beating. I think he's a class horse in this race. There's not many of these could win over 2 miles. Classical Dream is a very, very good horse as well. He was just behind Tiapu in the Hatton's Grace, and that line of form, that race could be the key form for this race as well, you know. So yeah, I fancy Tiapu. I think he'll take an awful lot of beating. Florian Porter has had an interrupted preparation, but I did a Cheltenham preview night the other night with Gavin Cromwell, and he's very sweet on him. He says he has him spot on, so he's going to be a big danger bidding for his third stairs, but I have a lot of faith in Tiapu. I think he'll take a lot of beating.
I think, yeah, you'll probably get that with a lot of trainers, I'm guessing, at the Cheltenham. They're probably going to be, maybe not, yeah, I mean, they're going to be as honest as they can be, but I mean, they're going to probably big up their horses as much as possible, right? Is that kind of what happens kind of behind the scenes?
Yeah, that's always the way. In one career now that I'm retired, so you know, take what you see. When a horse like Florian Porter, who we haven't seen for a while, you have to take some bit of word if you want to believe it. If you're a fan of the horse and you want to believe it, believe it. Personally, for me, I don't believe it.
And looking at the stayers as well, just the makeup of the race. I mean, what kind of race do you expect to be run tactically? Do you see anything going into Hoopoe's advantage there?
Yeah, I think the race will be run at a decent gallop. You have Florian Porter, who goes from the front, knows no other way of going. But there's plenty in there as well that I don't think Danny will be allowed to slow it down as much as he wants to when he won't be able to dictate as much as he did in the previous years. So I think it will be strongly run, but I also think that Tiapu is probably the fastest horse in the race. They are all Dower stayers, the likes of Paisley Park, Florian Porter, looking down to Styrian Furlongs, Blazing Cal. They're all real stayers, and I think Tiapu has a bit of gear over this trip.
Yeah, and especially the conditions as well. You think that will suit to Hoopoe?
Yeah, definitely. If the ground is going to be on the soft side, all the better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that covers the bigger races on the Thursday. But do you have a look at the handicaps and any outside fancies there?
Yeah, I think in the Pertemps final, I think Gavin Cromwell has a very good chance here with Percival Galois. He was a good winner in Leopardstown in his last start. He's a horse that always promised an awful lot and hadn't really delivered until the last day. I think he might still have a few pound up his sleeve in that. Looking down through the rest, the plate, I think Hoot on Colors, if he runs in this, could be a big, big player. He's was unlucky not to win a Grade 2. He's a graded horse dropping back into a handicap, and I think he'd be a big player in this. And then the Mayor's Novice Hurdle is a fascinating race. Lucia for Nicky Henderson looks very, very good. She needs to jump as well as she did. I wasn't impressed with her jumping in Exeter. So this is going to be a big field, 20 runners. I think Henry's going to run probably 4 in this. Magical Zoe would look the pick of them on paper. But both Belle the Lioness and Foxy Girl are 2 good mares, and they'll be in the shake-up as well. This is again running the new course. Only 2 hurdles to jump in the last 7 furlongs, so it's all about stamina, and I think all our mares in this race have plenty of stamina.
And of course, yeah, as you touched on there with day 3 moving on to the new course, I mean, how much does that actually affect things from your point of view as opposed to the old course?
They're 2 totally different tracks, you know. The old course is more of a speed track, where the new course is a big galloping track. It's an outer circle, and with so little jumping in the last mile on a hurdle track, it does become more stamina dependent.
Yeah, which did you prefer riding, just personally?
I won a Gold Cup, so I'm going to say the new course.
That leads us on nicely to day 4, but of course that will come in a separate video. So Robbie, thanks for your views on day 3. We're going to wrap that up there. We're also going to hand over to Vincent Finnegan for his tip on day 3.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at Thursday's racing and try and pick out a winner for everyone. So I'm going to pick my nap of the day. Lots of choices. That on Thursday we've got the Turners with Mighty Potter. I think the horse is just a little bit too short. Would probably win though. Then we've got the Ryanair Chase Shishkin odds on. Don't particularly fancy that. I was thinking of going with the likes of Fury Road as an each way play in this, because I think there's still some doubts about Shishkin over the trip, and Blue Lord as well if that runs. So I thought that there's an each way play here. Somewhere in it is Fury Road in my book anyway. Definitely stays the trip. No problem with the ground either. But I don't think the horse will win, so I'm going to avoid that one too. So the race I'm going to go for is the Stayers Hurdle, probably the most competitive race of the day. But I think I have the winner first, at least I hope I have anyway, which is Blazing Cal of Charles Burns. Really like this horse. Twice a course winner as well back in 2021. Horse won twice over the course in Grade 2 races, then missed the rest of the season. That was in November, December 2021. Missed the rest of the season and was out. There was talk early this season that he was going to go over fences, and there were rumours that he was going to go novice chasing rather than sticking with hurdles. But we sent Emma Nagel down there before Christmas, and she got the exclusive for IrishRacing.com that the horse stays over hurdles and was going to go for the stayers hurdle. And that's where we go. Had one run recently, ran in the Boyne hurdle, first run in nearly 2 years, and it was a really good run. The horse wins, gave weight away, gave £5 to Meet and Greet, which is rated 150. Back in third was Beacon Edge, rated 145, gave that £5 as well. Really good performance to win that day. And all systems go as far as I'm concerned. I think Charles really knows what he's doing here. He's got a very, very good horse, and I'll be surprised if the horse doesn't win. No issues with the track, as we know, won twice there before. Shouldn't have any issue with the ground either. It has won on heavy and it's also won on soft ground. And then the other thing is the distance. Love the distance. Absolutely no problem here either. I know Robbie Power is fancying Tihupu, and there's other big contenders here, home by the Lee. The Joseph O'Brien camp are keen on that. And we've also got Classical Dream, which was a bit of a doubt coming into it, but has been declared for the race. But for me, Blazing Cal is the one. I think that's the nap of the day for Thursday at Cheltenham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.